So, podcast time for this week. We're just popping in here, I guess, on a Sunday evening. Do we want to let them know it's a Sunday evening?
Sure. I don't know. How quick do you usually get these out? A couple days. Normally, right?
It's going to be like Tuesday
been like
morning.
a 48-hour turnaround.
Yeah, it's
so
going to be
far.
like Tuesday morning. Okay.
I'll try to get out tomorrow.
So we got a lot of topics today. Actually, I have Preston's kind of been running the show. So what do we got going today for the topics, Preston?
Yeah, we got quite a few things today. We got quite a few different things up on queue we wanted to talk about. I guess we could talk about, though, going up and fishing on Friday. All of us kind of have the same experience for that. We went up just up
Spanish Fork Canyon.
Yeah, Spanish Fork Canyon, up in that high country there, and
We don't want to reveal.
yeah,
it.
I guess that's a
secret one.
This is one of the few ones we don't want to reveal.
All right.
That one's a secret one because
there's already
we
just so
drove
many
out
people
there
up there.
and there was already like 300 people there. So
It's true.
On a Friday evening too. Like it was, we got there at
Friday
like
afternoon. Yeah,
like
it was,
3?
Yeah,
Got
probably.
up there.
Pulled over at 3 to fish. Yeah.
And yeah, we're getting ready. And when we pulled up, there was only one other person there. But as we were getting ready, like a Subaru
Yeah.
full of Tenkara
Yeah, I was gonna
douches
say, did you see the sticker, the Tenkara?
pull up, and then we start hiking down to go where we want to like start. Because what we did is we parked up and then we hiked down. And we were gonna fish up to the car.
Yeah.
And when we hiked down, there was a guy that had just pulled up and was like putting on his waders and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of do want to protect that one. So, but anyway, we went up and fished Friday night, and
yeah, me and Peter were using flies, big terrestrials on top, and Andrew's throwing his worm, and probably ended up with about 15-ish total fish.
15 between all of us. Yeah.
We kind of fished a wide range of the river, which was nice. Fished kind of the upper area and then the lower part. Saw a lot of wildlife too.
Many deer, lots of deer.
Tons of deer, and then there was two things we saw.
Badgers, wolverines,
A badger. I don't know.
muskrat.
It was almost
No
like
way,
a reddish,
no.
they
That
had,
thing
like,
was-
reddish fur with some
Yeah.
white on them.
Yeah.
So
The backside was pretty red.
so one of
wasn't
those Chinese pandas that
it?
they
Yeah,
have in
I
Tibet.
don't know what that was.
There was two of them though.
It was running though. I wish it kind of stopped and let us look at it a little longer, but yeah, that was
big.
pretty cool.
That was one
Whatever
of
it was, is cool.
that, and it like had a little den up in the
Yeah, it did.
mountainside, and that was one of the cooler things I've seen in a while. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, stayed kind of late. Did some hot dogs, and that's always good.
Yeah, the hot dogs was awesome. That
Started
was the
getting
best part.
really windy too.
Yeah.
That's when we.
I guess
the
it was
weather
really bad weather
coming
down
in.
here.
Yeah, that's what my wife said.
Yeah, Jess was saying it was blowing.
Yeah, she thought we
Really
were getting
bad.
poured on up there, but I was like,
No.
some thunderstorms came over us, but nothing really came down. But Saturday and Sunday, everything came down.
Yeah, today
It was-
sucked.
Yeah, but
Probably snowed up there. Well, it did. It had to have.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Did
it
you guys, just out of curiosity, did you guys see it last night? Like how golden it was? Or was that only something that was kind of up in our way?
I think
Probably
it
up
was
your
cooler
way.
up your way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the
It was
like
just kind of intermittently dark.
like the
down
window.
here.
So I had like my shades drawn, right, and the window, it was just pure gold. And then like I opened it up, and the whole sky. So the whole sky, it was like a sunset, but it had like was still in a cloud. So it was like a really thin cloud. Like it was almost like a fog with a sunset.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
One of those cool sunsets.
Yeah.
But that was good. Hopefully, we did do some filming, so pump out a video here.
I was gonna say, did you get enough for a video?
I think so.
Yeah,
we
you were
need
worried
to,
that.
I mean,
camera was
let's
dying,
be
but-
honest. It was awful, except for one fish.
Yeah.
We caught one fish that, like, you know how that is. Like, it's a
you
pretty
caught another
bad.
nice one.
I caught some decent ones, but nothing like Andrew's.
Well, I only landed one finally, but I had probably like 4 or 5 other hits.
Yeah,
at
Preston
least,
had a rough go at it
I was
for a while there.
struggling yesterday.
I
I tried to talk him into the worm, but he wasn't gonna do it.
So I was thinking about it though. Like, that's like the perfect setup for a streamer though. It's like a little bit murkier water.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Down low it was a little murkier. Up high it was pretty clear.
It was really clear up high,
Yeah.
but down low it was a little bit murkier water, and like just the whole setup, how there was like it was kind of getting darker at night and like a little bit of wind. That's like the perfect setup for a streamer. So like I have no doubt why you started really
Yeah, that was
picking up
fun.
at the end.
Yeah, it was good. But I was struggling before that. I was getting kind of frustrated.
I thought it was good fishing. It was good. It was solid.
I mean, for a Friday night, real close.
I was telling Andrew, that was like one of the more...
69 people, like, that was perfect.
It was like the best, worst, like, fishing...
Yeah, we went through stretches.
Few hours. It was weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes we really, really struggled, and other times it seemed really fast.
You know, I thought about it after we got home that night or whatever, and I was like, dang, we should have done, like, a video with a competition between a fly and a worm.
Yeah,
and
one time we got to do it.
That would have been a close... back and forth on that one. That's what we should have done.
How many did you end up catching?
I think I caught... I mean, it must have been 6 or 7.
See,
I can't remember.
I think I had 6.
Yeah, so we would have been right there.
It would have been right there.
But I would have taken it.
I know I missed quite a few more, though.
Yeah, same.
Especially there at the the end of the night, when it was getting darker. It was like I would get hits, and it was like almost too dark for me to see hit it. So
yeah, I get you there. But I would have won with that fish I caught. So
yeah,
I'll take round one. I'll take round one.
I mean, that one fish saved the night. So
that's true. That was a good fish.
That was definitely worth it.
Yeah, that was a sick.
But yeah, we need to do something like that to.
I need to figure out to
continue
if we're gonna do something like that. I need to. We
our
have like
feud.
Yeah, our little rivalry we got going between me and Peter. It's kind of fun. It's all fun.
But. Let's do it.
We need to do. We have like the boat filming set up down really well, but we need to do something where like we all have chesties or we rotate or something. Because I mean, the video could have been a lot better, even though it wasn't that great of a night. Like there could have been
more
over
footage.
a dozen fish or something.
Yeah.
Caught on film.
See, that's what I was
because I struggled and I had the main camera, and so a
lot of good B footage.
Yeah,
a lot of good B-roll. No, that's kind of what I was just talking about, though. I feel like we need to kind of revamp our fleet of GoPros, get some newer ones, and kind of get good mic setups like lavalier setups, and just kind of revamp
I gotta show
all
you.
that
I got
setup.
a link I should show you guys. I found the other day, and he does it on the. Well, I think he does it on like a 6 or something. We have a couple silver 4s, which are actually.
I mean,
they have like the best static audio and everything. They've done really well. So.
They also have like the best reputation. If you look at like all the reviews, like it seems like everyone keeps coming back to the 4s.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
As like
the best.
Too.
Yeah. I know right now though what are we on 8? I think we're on GoPro 8. And I think
so.
I think what I've noticed is a lot of them are on sale currently. So that's pretty awesome. Is that that's a way we could maybe revamp the setup, but we that's something we got to do for sure.
So the number one thing I think we got to do is we need a drone.
Yeah.
We need a drone. I mean, I feel like that's what separates a lot of our footage from others. Some of the really nice ones that have like great drone footage where it just comes up from the stream or the lake or whatever. If anybody's got a drone that wants to send it to us, we're not.
Yeah, that and just our editing software. We're still just rolling with good old iMovie.
Yeah, we need a Premiere.
Fine and
would
adequate,
help.
like gets the job done, but
there's
obviously you can definitely tell differences.
Well, I think we have like a really good main camera setup.
Yeah, like our actual filming and kind of production of it, minus the editing. Like I don't think it can really be beat as far as just like an amateur like YouTube channel goes. Like
that's old. Yeah, I agree. But every time you see somebody with drone footage that
it just
damn it, man.
In fact, just this week I've been telling these guys there's a guy at work. He's kind of a techie guy. He's got a drone.
Oh yeah.
He's used it at work for like just little projects and stuff. And I've just total disclosure. I was like, we need to just pimp you out to come on our boat and use your drone. And he's like, yeah, okay. Even just to like experiment, like that'd be,
really show us.
We'd probably like go and buy one like the next day.
Just break it. That's what we would do.
Yeah,
I think I just
we'd fly it over something we weren't supposed to. And
I think I just need to start, budgeting my next student loan disbursement. Get a new drone.
Well, if you notice, so in the background, maybe you can tell. So we're starting framing out our basement, finishing our basement. So I got some cash flow coming in. For maybe we can.
I don't know if you're gonna talk Jess into a drone on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe if you rent out the basement for like a month.
Hey Jess, we built a basement. I think this is a fair trade. So yeah, I think I agree with the drone. It's funny. I was so hesitant and so resistant for years on the drone. Yeah. But I'm just at Lake Powell alone.
Yeah.
Although, do you think people would get mad? I know some people are kind of anal about that.
Like, I'd love to use it at Lake Powell. Yeah. Even if we couldn't use it at Lake Powell, I think it'd be totally worth it.
Yeah, doing it in Buenos or anywhere else.
Well, even like last night, like where we were last night, kind of deep in that ravine. That was so cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Cool on a drone, yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we're still amateur. We're still trying to get better with our filming and editing and all that. And
I mean, it's just fun too. Yeah. Like always going back and watching your stuff and like. Even just like the problem solving aspect of it, it's always been fun for us to like, how can we make our videos better? Yeah. How can we capture our moments a little bit better?
All right. So speaking of fun,
what a segue.
So for maybe the first week in our YouTube lives, we actually functioned as a legit YouTube channel, and we actually pumped out some quantity and quality of some videos. One of the videos we put out this week was we did another giveaway, and this is our second giveaway?
Third?
I
thought you guys did one. Is it just one?
And
is somebody gonna win right now?
Yep.
You're announcing it live on this podcast.
That's right. So last week when I was at POW, I edited it out last time, but we did talk about it on the last podcast, although you never saw that. We did do a video of the giveaway. We did a Lake Powell Essentials box. And so if you saw that video and you guys entered and you did what you're supposed to, we put your name into our
random name generator.
And so what I think we'll do, or at least the hope is that, I mean, yes, we want to exploit all of you guys for your subscriptions because we gained like 16 new subscriptions.
Something like that. We're over 700. Like, which is 1,000 is looking like an actual possibility now. Wow. So
we've been in the YouTube channel business for 8 years, and we'll finally reach 1,000 maybe. So yeah, we put together a giveaway, and
I mean, a good giveaway though. That's a good one.
Let's be honest too. It's not to like necessarily exploit subscribers.
No, yeah, it's still kind of like in line with. Kind of like who we are, and like obviously the giveaway is like a Lake Powell box. So
it is.
So
definitely.
But the thing I like most about it is just like interacting with like the people and like seeing them like.
Yeah, and it'll probably actually go to somebody
who cares and wants it.
Use it and stuff.
Exactly.
Lake Powell probably. So I think we might. The hope is that we can try to do these like once a month. Do a giveaway once a month.
Yeah, we talked about it's never going to be anything like special. Really,
right?
But it's gonna be something special. I don't know. It's stupid to say, but special to us.
Well, okay, so like this box, everything's used, but it's still probably
but that's good stuff. Like, I think I told you
$60 or something.
I think I told you to leave out the cinnamon spider jigs because those.
I mean, those are like gold,
great, man. Those
things will catch.
Yeah.
Okay, the plastics aren't used though, right?
No.
Yeah, those are new plastics.
But I like the Yamamoto bags. There's probably there were 10 in there. There's probably only like 5. So I'll throw in some more when I mail them out.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. But I know, like for instance, just
maybe not of that color, but
yeah,
nice. I know that Lucky Craft, like that's gonna catch a ton of stripers at Powell. Like it has. It's been proven.
Okay, so without
further ado,
let's announce our winner. We got the wheel set up, and I'm clicking.
And the winner is.
It's rotating. It's exciting.
Ooh.
David.
So David, let's see. Let's find who this David person is. We only put first name, so we gotta like scroll through the comments now and like.
Yeah, probably not.
David Warwood.
Yeah.
David Warwood. Very last comment, believe it or not.
Okay. That is
Do I know him?
Yeah,
I don't know him.
He's a Wayne's Worder for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't putting. Once I saw the last name.
He'll definitely use this line. Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah,
he's on Wayne's Words.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Congratulations, David. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, good.
But yeah, we're gonna try and do it at least once a month.
At least once a month.
Yeah, try and give something away.
You gonna make it like a package like this every time, like a Lake Powell type of?
Not necessarily.
Like
we're just gonna
we're
just gonna give away what we fancy.
That's a good idea. Yeah. River essentials.
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about giving away
a strawberry essential box. We could put in a bunch of big hoppers and some tube jigs, and
we had talked about giving away the Andrew special on Friday night. We were walking around the Eagle Claw with the Zebco spin
like
cast.
I said though, I don't think a lot of people do what I do.
But that's still a cool different giveaway.
It is,
and like it's something that's affordable for us too. Like how much is one of those little fiberglass Eagle Claws? Like,
oh man, I don't know. That one I have is pretty old.
$15.
Maybe a little bit more.
I think it's like 20 to 30.
20. Yeah,
with the reel and everything like that. What kind?
Well, the reel actually has metal gears in it, so it's a Zebco with actually metal gears. So it's probably like 60.
60.
Yeah, that specific one. Yeah.
So what kind of line do you use for that river set? Can you explain the river setup?
8-pound test.
Okay.
Is the greatest fishing line ever made.
Is it mono?
And you guys have been trying to talk me out of it for years. It feels like at this point. You'll never talk me out of it. You'll never talk me out of it.
Stren.
That's true. I talked Preston into it probably like 4 years ago or something.
Stren is good stuff.
It's good stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I've transitioned away from mono in general. I tend to go with fluoro and the braid. But there was a long time there. That's all I had was 8 to 10 pound Stren. It was Stren.
I feel like most people do mono. I don't know.
There's
Depends
reasons.
on where you're at,
there's a lot of reasons I like the fluoro, particularly if the water's clear.
True.
Yeah, whereas I used it on the south end of Powell. I'm not sure if it made a difference or not.
Where let's be honest, in a river, maybe it's not even as needed. So like mono's perfect, I think, for the river.
With the mussels and stuff at Lake Powell now, mono kind of is. I don't know.
Gets beat up.
It gets beat up quick, and you really have to check your line like a lot just to make sure it's not gonna bust off on the next fish or anything.
So I think
that's like the only time I
think I might have used that 12-pound fluorocarbon.
Last trip or whatever.
And I think I only retied once.
I used the.
And that's what was on mine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used the 15 too. It was a mix between the 12 and the 15 is what I used.
Yeah, it did pretty good this last year.
Yeah.
The fluoro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that 8-pound test mono, Stren mono, man.
So
it's the best. It's the best. And I don't know, the way I fish a stream, just so 8-pound test on a little like spinning
cast,
rod. Yeah. And then I don't know, I just kind of flick it out there. It's kind of a weird.
What we need to do, here's what we need to do. We need to do a video where you literally teach how you set up, and then we give away the setup.
Yeah.
So we'll buy a new setup. We'll have you show how to set it up, and then we'll give it away.
It's like because I was trying unique. It down at Chama last year.
Yeah.
And it's
different.
It's like it is something that has like a little bit of a learning curve to it because it's not just like cast it out and let it sit there.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a mix between it's not just like your traditional bait fishing. I mean, you're like actively
you're not
using for it.
You're using the current.
Yep.
You're working like the different sections of the runs and stuff.
It's almost like you're fly fishing with a reel.
Yeah.
That's
you know what? I give you a lot of crap for it.
Oh, I know.
But like it looks like it's pretty cool, and like it does not look like bait fishing.
No,
it's not like throw it out there and just chill. Yeah,
I wouldn't consider it that. I'm telling you, it's like fly fishing with the real worm.
And like I've never seen Andrew like have to and with that fishing, like the fish never like swallows it and like kills themselves or anything. Like,
hardly ever, because you're feeling the line pretty much.
It's almost like
time.
It's almost like jig fishing almost.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, it is what you're doing. So like. Yeah. You know, with competition nymphing, like Euro style nymphing, in a fly rod, you're feeling for the ticking on the bottom,
right?
And it's the same setup.
That's exactly what I do. I just feel basically when something hits.
And so you're hooking everything in the corner of the mouth, and it's cool.
Fun.
It's definitely
it's a different style, but yeah, maybe we'll do a video and we'll do like a little giveaway or something. But yeah, like I said, not a whole lot of people do it that way.
Yeah,
so it's fun.
Definitely.
And that's what bugs me about all these places that are going to artificial flies and lures only. Just let me get out there. Just let me get out there with just one little half a worm or whatever, and I'd show you.
Yeah, sure you would.
It's not hard, Andrew.
Yeah.
There's no challenge.
That's true. Because you just catch fish. I mean,
even though I only caught one fish the other night.
Yeah.
And I was super frustrated most of the night. I had the most fun. I had more fun than Andrew.
That's kind of a running joke we got. Fly fishing, it's just more fun. But it isn't.
It is.
It isn't. That's what we're going to have.
It is when you throw it out and they're hitting on the top.
True. And see, that's when I do like fly fishing.
Yeah.
Like, when they're hitting the top stuff, it's fun.
Yeah. There's nothing better than a topwater hit.
Right.
On any fish.
It's true.
Bass, trout, nothing's better when they're hitting top.
It's true. Yeah.
You can see
we'll
it.
have to do a video or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. So what's moving on?
Thanks for everybody who submitted in that contest, a little giveaway, and we'll get that out to Dave. Dave's a good guy. I recognize who that was now. And we got a lot of input. We had like over 30 people submit and try for that. So
that's cool.
Keep looking for those, and we'll keep putting those together. Those are kind of fun for us. Let's see. The next thing. Okay. Speaking of like input and things like that, because we had part of the contest is you had to like kind of say what your favorite video and stuff is. We did get some feedback from one of our last podcasts from one of Peter's buddies, Zach, and we fished with him a couple times.
Shout out Zach. He's one of my oldest friends.
He was telling us a really good suggestion. He was saying that we should have people submit like pictures and like weekly questions for us. So I think we want to kind of introduce that. And so
we're going to flash up our email address first off, right?
Yeah, we'll leave that up, and then we'll leave that in our description. So we just have our regular Gmail. So if you guys have pictures from fish that week, or any fish that you want to show us, or if you have questions for us or anything like that, feel free to just send us an email, and we'll pull those up each week and go through those. Yeah,
and put them as part of the podcast. One of the coolest things I like about Sportsman's Warehouse is their little fish wall, because you can always sit there and look at it and be like, I could do better. So yeah, show us.
Then on some other ones, you're like, how the hell did that person catch that fish? Right. That's what bugs me more than anything else. I'm like, what the hell? How did that little kid catch that?
42-inch tiger muskie.
Right.
Right.
Like, such crap, but that's whatever.
Cool. That's fishing for you. That's how it happens.
It is.
So yeah. Send send us anything. We're kind of a smorgasbord right now, and so send us your videos, send us your
we're trying to get in the swing of things, trying to get a good format down and everything. So
yeah,
regardless though, as we've mentioned before, if no one watched this, we're gonna keep doing it. Okay.
Well, I have been impressed though of the people that have watched it.
Yeah,
I've had so many people reach out and be like, dude, that was awesome. Like, best podcast I've watched in a while. So like,
shout out to my wife Samantha, who she's a diehard listener of both podcasts and tells us what we're doing wrong. So
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
So yeah,
feedback.
You gotta love that.
Feedback's quite valuable there. Yeah. Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, I don't think my wife has listened yet.
But yeah, I know quite a few people, including someone that entered our contest last was named Will Lumsden. He was on my mission. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Will for quite a while. So like, and then I had buddy Kyle, and then I had a couple of friends from PT school watch it. So like Josh watched it, and all that kind of stuff.
Shout out to people who are actually watching,
and that's really cool.
Tell us how far away you guys are. I know there's people in Idaho listening. Shout out to Andy.
Andy Crapo. Yeah,
maybe in Colorado, Arizona, maybe some California. So, all right. So yeah, do that if you guys feel so inclined. If you guys want to send us any questions, curious about anything, you guys want to make fun of us, send that in.
And yeah, we'll just pop it on the video, our email address. So.
Okay, so like we mentioned last week, we wanted to bring up
kind of some current events,
things that happened within the last week.
And there was a lot of good things that happened this week. A lot of bad things that happened this week too.
Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about, there was a missing Arizona man. He was presumed drowned, and they did later end up finding his body. As at Lake Powell, this is in the southern end. So a 30-year-old man was presumed drowned at Lake Powell after going missing Sunday. So a week ago, a National Park Service officials said Monday. The man was with a group of 5 friends on a private vessel in the Warm Creek arm of the lake, about 3,000 meters from the cut. The cut
we talked about last week.
The man was from Flagstaff, and I think I probably pulled up the wrong one because I think I know they found him and they maybe even identified him, so maybe I should have found that one. But just crazy stuff. I think
he was just swimming, right?
Yeah, I think he just either jumped off the boat or jumped off the boat from camp or something like that and just started swimming out. And 30-year-old guy just never came back.
Lake Powell every year. I mean, what is it like? At least 5 or 6 people usually.
I remember last year. Last year there was a guy in Bullfrog that drowned. He was on a paddleboard and didn't have any PFD and just fell off. Got windy, fell off his paddleboard and died. It's every year.
Dude, Lake Powell and wind.
You just don't mess with it. Yeah, we were supposed to go last weekend and and it was, I guess this weekend
when a hurricane comes through.
It was a hurricane.
Yeah, we were supposed to be getting back and just saw that wind and we were like, no way. It's just not very fun and not safe, obviously. It's just, I always say it, I'm always surprised with how many visitors Lake Powell gets. I'm surprised there isn't more deaths, to be honest.
It's true. Especially when there's bad weather like wind and stuff like that, you'd figure.
Well, and just the things you see on YouTube, too.
Well, the things you've seen in person.
Yes.
Yeah.
People jumping off 100-foot cliffs. And
just this last trip me and Jess went on, we were coming back. It was just on the south end of that Maytag Straits I was talking about, that horrible wave.
Where it gets the
So once you come out of there, you have to turn north to head towards the cut into Warm Creek Bay. And you have to kind of make a wide turn out of there, and there's even like 4 or 5 buoys right there that are just danger rocks.
Right.
So you have to kind of make a wide turn. As we're making this wide turn, here's this big old cruiser just heading right for the buoys. And I'm like, Jess, that guy is going to run right in there. I mean, there's nothing I could have done. Like, we're 50 yards away. Like, no one's going to hear me or anything.
You would have to shoot a signal flare at them.
Just keep watching him. Finally, he's literally on top of the buoys and finally pulls off plane. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, and then there was that, I don't know who was with, maybe Andrew was with me. It was just outside of Stanton.
I was going to say, the ones outside of Stanton are like notorious.
There's lots of whales and stuff out there.
But there was that one year with the actual buoy out there. They had to have it.
There was that. The one guy, we watched him. He wasn't on planing speed. He was just kind of putting.
Yeah.
But he just went right over like 3 or 4 rocks in a row, and you could just hear like.
Yeah, I don't.
And like the guy like looked back once and like just kept going, like didn't.
Not my boat.
Didn't stop or.
People are a little. I don't know. They're crazy at Lake Powell, just especially with that type of stuff.
That stuff, all the you throw in like all the cliff jumping, all the families, like all the little kids, and
I'm gonna be like my dad right now. All the alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of drinking.
Usually, like with the drownings, it usually is something with alcohol. You know, everybody's drinking and the dude doesn't pop back up.
Yeah, I think people underestimate too, just swimming in general. Like,
yeah.
Especially, like, I just swim to this other side of this cove, or without a life jacket. It's not that far.
Yeah.
And people, you start swimming, you get like a cramp, you're effed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
And I think that's what happens a lot of times. You get a cramp or something, or. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's sad. 30-year-old man, that's like us.
Yeah.
That's literally us.
That kind of hits home right there. But yeah, there's no matter what, people just don't. And I mean, granted, he might have been prepared. Yeah, we're not calling him dumb by any means or anything, but
about the whole.
Yeah, we don't know, but just I'm surprised there's not more.
Yeah.
With how much goes on and people not following the rules and people being stupid and pushing the limits and just how far away from everything it is. Yeah, kind of amazed more So yeah, it's a really sad story. Hopefully people can start learning that and taking more precautions and things like that. So
just to like ask people, like again, Wayne's Words is a great like website and a great resource. Like go on there and ask people. I had a buddy actually reach out to me. Was it Thursday night? Justin, he's like, hey, are you going down to Powell this weekend? And I said, no, we're not going down. Like we saw the wind. It's kind of scary. And I guess he had a boat rented, so they ended up going down anyway. And he was just like, hey, do you have any tips for like when it does get really windy? And I said, make sure you have like extra rope in your boat so you can tie off your boat like extra well, and make sure you guys find like the most secluded cove to camp in, and just, you know, things that maybe you don't think about ahead of time, but it's good to have in the back of your mind if you know there's going to be inclement weather or something like that.
No, I was thinking about that today too, because people have been asking about the wind. That's always a reoccurring question too, for like what site do you guys look for to wind, and what do you guys trust, and what scares you and what worries you. So maybe we can touch on that. So to me, there's hundreds of different sites out there that'll tell you what the weather is. And to me, there's not really too big of a difference between them. But so I would say you would need to make say you have like a Lake Powell trip plan next week, a week from now. I would say you'd probably need to make your decision like at least 2 or 3 days prior to that. Mm-hmm. Because the wind, once it gets up to like 2 or 3 days before, nothing's going to change too much.
It's the forecasting's pretty accurate at that point, especially on wind. You're really good at forecasting wind for airplanes, and a lot of the data that you get on those websites are for airports. Like, so for instance, the Height or the Bullfrog Strip or the Hanksville Airport, like they're really accurate for that kind of thing because they have to be for airplanes. So that's where a lot of that comes in. Like anytime we look for like Jordanelle, it's all coming from Heber Airport.
Right.
So
if I'm seeing like 0 to 15,
this is on Windfinder, right? You checking Windfinder?
Yeah, so the two we probably use the most are probably Windfinder and then
that's
Weather
probably
Underground.
My number one.
Yeah, Windfinder's probably primary.
If it shows rain, I usually look at Weather Underground just to see how much it's really going to rain. Usually Weather Underground, they do a pretty good job on the temperature and like the precipitation. But wind, I think Windfinder is probably the best.
That's probably our number one factor too in determining.
Yeah, well, I think rain doesn't really stop us from going fishing and stuff. It's the wind that'll stop us from going places.
I can put a jacket on it all day long.
Yeah, it's the wind.
Wind's the number one killer.
I think 5 to 6 days out, you get a pretty good
picture of what's going to go on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to change too much from that. Yeah. So
the question is, so what is the cutoff?
Yeah, so anything under 15, I'm not concerned. Anything over 15, I'm looking like okay, that's catching my attention. Anything, to me at least, anything over 20, I'm like,
if anything shows 20 plus for like 4 to 5 hours, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like that day is going to be screwed. You're going to be having
that being
a rough
said,
time.
though,
anything under 25, though, I mean, is not generally like super dangerous per se.
Yeah.
But you do not want to be like that. Is going to ruin your.
Yeah.
That's going to ruin your fishing day. Like it is hard to fish like the way we fish.
Yeah. So you're using a trolling motor, basically working a shoreline, and when there's wind pushing you, north, south, wherever. I mean, it's hard to fish.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep a shoreline when you're doing that.
That being said, you can do it though, because last year when we went to the San Juan, there was that period of time from about noon to about probably 6 or 7 p.m. that it was 20 plus.
Well, and that's the difference too.
And we just kind of hit out and we found coves that were pretty.
If you're
secluded.
on a longer trip and there's like an outlier day, usually you can like kind of work around that. You can plan around it. You can hunker down at camp.
You can even use it. You can use it and just use it to basically work a shoreline. But usually you're gonna have to do like a crankbait or something like that because it's going
jerk
quick,
bait.
quick.
Yeah, you gotta move fast. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes if it's just like a one day or one afternoon thing and it's super bad, like it's generally not a deal breaker. But if you're going on like a quick weekend 2-day trip or something, and one day, so half your trip is just totally screwed.
Yeah.
So man, anything over 25, I'm just definitely like
No.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either.
There are other days to fish.
So Lake Powell's just brutal when it's windy, just because the water gets rough, and then also all that red dust and stuff. It is just brutal to be out there.
Yeah, you start tasting it.
See the wind coming.
It can be bad. It can be really bad.
You got some big bays, and
yep,
you got that funnel effect Andrew's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it can get pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But that being said, too, sometimes you can escape it too.
Mm-hmm.
If you get like a north-south wind, you can go into like an east-west canyon.
And and get
a little protected. So I mean, there are some things you can kind of do. But wind, man, and this year, so far this 20. We all know 2020 sucks balls, but
yes, it does.
So we've gone on a few trips, and like COVID screwed like our prime time spring fishing, and then we finally had a trip planned, and then wind screwed like half that trip, and then we finally gotten into June where we think the weather's good, and like these first 2 weekends in June have just been
crap.
It's like March weather all of a sudden.
Well, should we say we're thinking about doing Flaming Gorge this next weekend, but it's like it's supposed to snow there tomorrow.
Yeah,
like I've seen snow in the forecast, and then next weekend it's supposed to be basically windy, both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, with like wind gusts like I've seen 40s.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
So now, so we're trying to figure out what to do. So wind. I'm thinking maybe just do a video specific one on that, because I know a lot of people are asking that. So let's go see. Speaking of the wind, so yesterday, despite the wind, there were some people who even tried to brave it up at
Willard,
the aforementioned Willard.
Yeah,
Bay.
I didn't hear about this. So you guys
and I didn't either. Peter sent it. So there was 6 people and a dog are safe. So luckily, no one got injured in this.
It was a 20-foot boat. A 20-foot boat.
But it capsized.
What kind of boat are we talking about?
Okay, so 6 people and a dog are fine.
Like a wakeboard boat.
After their boat capsized in Willard Bay on Friday, forcing them to spend several hours in the water. So they must have been at least prepared. A family of 5 from Davis County and their dog and a friend were out boating in the middle of the bay Friday afternoon when a storm came in. Sometime around 5 or 6, the waves overtook the bow of their boat and it sank. Oh my gosh. But not before everybody put on their life jackets and grabbed anything that might float, said Willard Bay Park Manager James Morgan.
So they all survived?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were at least, they were dumb for going out there.
56-year-old mother and their 3 children, 18, 13, and 11, and then their friend was 18.
Man, why you
so all a little older.
Right. You got to have looked at the weather before you go.
They tried to swim to shore, but the journey would prove too taxing. And I mean, and I know Willard Bay, it's generally typically smaller. That just goes to show, like, even at Willard Bay, like, if you try to swim somewhere. Like,
where were they? Like, out in the middle?
Just there out in the bay.
So, like, one thing, though, about Willard Bay is,
the trio made it to the east dike and found Interstate 15.
I mean, one thing about Willard Bay, though, is we've talked about is it literally is a 4-sided concrete lake. Yeah, like, it just turns it, when there's a nice wind, that turns into just a wave pool.
Yeah.
Because everything starts bouncing off the sides, and, I mean, come on, they had to have been smarter than that.
Well, yeah, and it's just, I don't know.
Just another reason not to go to Willard Bay for me.
Yes.
I'll leave it to the other people.
Sounds like they weren't prepared for the wind, but it did sound like they were prepared to.
They at least had safety stuff on board, which was good. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that story.
But another story.
And now we're to probably our favorite story of the weekend.
Okay, so here's the headline on this one. Woman injured in Provo officer involved shooting at Utah Lake State Park. The again aforementioned Utah Lake.
Isn't it funny that 2 of our 3 least favorite places to fish are on this list?
Where this stuff happens? Yeah. Sadly, I'm not shocked this is at Utah Lake. Like,
I'm just shocked something didn't go down at Yuba this weekend.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked at all.
I mean, Preston's dad was actually there fishing at Utah Lake, and then they kind of left. They left to go fish the river, he was saying, and they got out of the car, and they heard the pop,
they just
pop,
missed
or whatever.
The area it happened by a couple of minutes.
It's crazy. That's another reason not to go to Utah Lake.
So officers responded to reports of a woman waving a gun in the air in the area. When officers responded, the woman pointed the gun at them after ignoring Verbal commands and officers shot her, police said. The woman was treated on scene and transported to Utah Valley Hospital. Her condition not immediately available. The incident is under investigation. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be laughing.
No, I mean, it's funny because...
It's Utah Lake.
Yeah, it's Utah Lake, man. There's just some weirdos there. It's just...
Well, last time we went fishing, I could count probably 5 or 6 straight-up transients.
Oh, yeah.
Walking the path as we were fishing there. Like,
yeah,
well, I mean, I've literally had to step over
someone sleeping
at Hobble Creek, and that's just up from Utah.
Yeah, I mean, they probably just work their way back and forth between Utah Lake and there. I mean, it's...
They just migrate up to spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look.
They're spawning with each other.
Yes.
We've seen...
We have seen many condom wrappers and...
The decon station's in the picture of this KSL article. Oh, there you go.
But, no, your dad was there with Jaden, right?
Yeah, he's my cousin's son, and he likes to fish. He's down from Wyoming. So they went fishing real quick.
And they went catfishing, which is funny because we usually make fun of catfishing, but...
Yeah, they actually caught a nice one.
Yeah, your dad caught a really nice one.
Jig.
Yep. I remember catching one on top at Lake Powell this last time we were there, so... Catfish do weird things.
Yeah, so... Who knows? Hopefully that lady's all right. Hopefully there's no more gun-waving incidents anywhere. So
hopefully people start wearing life jackets too.
Yes. So what's the moral of tonight's story?
Check the wind. That's what I would
say. Check the weather. Yeah.
Check the wind and don't go to Utah Lake.
And don't go to Utah Lake.
Or Willard Bay.
Or Willard Bay, yeah, for that fact. But
go to Willard Bay first, but go to neither second.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of brings up...
So that made us think of strange stories that we've seen or, heard
there's
about.
A lot of strange stuff that we've...
Yeah, I guess I just don't have as good a memory as you guys with some of these, so...
Well, I have one in mind, like, for sure.
Okay, just start throwing them out. What's
so the first one was... what time of year was it? It was spring.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think it was spring. So this story has to do with someone that we met that's actually we kind of like now. His name's Jimmy Lynn.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
So what time of year was that? Was that
It was like in March.
Yeah,
it was in March.
I wasn't on that.
So it was early spring
trip, yeah.
So what happened is we go down north end of Lake Powell. And we're camping in a place we like to camp, kind of there in the north end. And we're sitting there, and the place that we camp has, first off, it's a canyon that has like some points that jut out that you've got to kind of safely navigate.
Top of Good Hope.
Yeah, top of Good Hope to get back in there. There's some sandbars and stuff, and it's kind of a really secluded spot. Like, you've got to try really hard to find us out there. Well, someone found us. At 1 a.m. So anyway, we had just wound down for bed. I think it was me, Preston, Eric, and Nixon are on this trip, and we had just kind of started snuggling up into bed. Eric, Preston, and I had kind of just stayed around the campfire pretty late. Nixon had already gone to bed, and
so I remember before everybody went to bed. I remember we were cooking dinner, or it was a little earlier in the night. It was still perfectly pitch black and stuff. And you can, if the channel marker is still working at Lake Powell, it'll actually blink.
Yeah, you could see it blinking.
So you can see it blinking out in the bay, out in the channel. And then I do remember seeing like a boat drive past that heading north.
Right. And that was pretty late.
Me and Nixon went to bed. Yeah, that might have been what? 9-ish?
9-ish, yeah, 9 o'clock.
So I went to bed, and I'd even like fallen asleep.
Yeah, so Preston and Nixon were out. Me and Eric were kind of still BSing in the tent a little bit. I can't exactly remember what we were talking about, but we were even starting to finally like taper off our conversation. And then all of a sudden we hear in the, like, pretty close, like in the channel. And we're like, what is that? Is that a boat?
Would you guys still have
like
a
in
fire
the channel?
going? Did you say that?
It was like coals.
It was coals at this point, yeah.
So you could maybe see it glowing. They must have seen it on the way up, though.
Yeah, because we had a big fire. We did have a big fire going That's why it was still kind of coals and stuff like that. Anyway, we hear a boat, and we're just like, who is out? I think Eric even said that. He's like, who in the hell is out in the bay at 12 at night? Like, what is going on? And so we're just kind of sitting there listening to it, and sure enough, it's getting closer.
Yeah, just like that's kind of when I
Preston started
waking up. Just you guys started talking about it, and then I heard the boat. Yeah, it's obviously coming towards us. So
right, it's just getting closer, and we're like, holy crap. And we're like, how are they going to see? Because there's a big sandbar that kind of juts out before you get into the cove that we were camped in. And we're like, how are they going to see that? We're actually like, me and Eric are now to the point where like, do we go out there and try and like signal this boat? Like, what's going on? And then sure enough, we hear it go as it comes into the bay. And they definitely scrape their prop on the sandbar. And yeah, they come into the bay, and at this time, Eric and I are like, well, we need to get out and see what's going on. So we get out, and we come, and we kind of stand out. There was a long flat that comes out that was about maybe 8 or 9 feet off the water, and we kind of walked out onto that. And as we walked out, all of a sudden we hear, "Hey, Andy! Hey, Andy, is that you? Andy!" And I just go, "Sorry, not Andy." And they keep coming closer, and they go, "Come on, Andy, is that you?" And I go, "No, it is not Andy." And we're just like, what's going on? Even Eric's like, "Sorry, you got the wrong people." And sure enough, they just keep coming in, and they go and pull their boat on up. Just pull the boat right up next to ours. Now, we had like a pretty narrow sandy spot to pull up on. Again, they didn't even care. They just right up on the rocks right next to it. And
remember what we said about alcohol in Lake Powell, right?
Right. These guys were smashed, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
by this time I'm wide awake, but I still never got out.
So me and Eric are like walking up to meet him. We're like, "Can we help you guys? Like, are you guys in trouble? Like, what's going on?" And they're going, "Oh, we're just looking for our buddy Andy." And I go, "Yeah, sorry, that's not us." And they go,
supposed to meet us up here.
They were supposed to meet us up here.
Have you guys seen a boat, a red something?
Yeah,
red Lund or something.
Yeah, it was a red. I guess it kind of did fit the description of our boat, except red and a Lund. It had like the same windshield as what they were explaining or something. Oh. Anyway, so they were like, "No, sorry, it's not us." And they're like, "Well, what are you guys doing?" And they get out of the boat.
Well, no, they just got out like didn't they just get out right away?
Pretty close, but like they were having this conversation while they were still pulling up.
Oh, okay.
And so they get out, and this short, stocky fella with flip-flops on starts walking up the hill and literally falls down onto his face. Like, yes, it's pitch black, but anyway, he loses his flip-flop, takes about a minute trying to get it back on, and comes and stands next to the coal fire. And we're like, both me and Eric at this point.
Can we help you?
Yeah, both me and Eric at this point are like, don't know what to do at all about this.
And you guys, I remember you guys just started talking about, how are you guys doing? We're doing this. We're fishing here.
Yeah, kind of got on that. They talked about finding a bunch of crappie in the back of Tickaboo.
Yeah. And
and we just kind of have a conversation with these two drunk gentlemen at 12:30 a.m.
and then to
Lake
kick
Powell.
it and then they go, "Well, do you guys have any extra gas?"
Yeah, right. And finally the conversation kind of peters out to the point where it's like, all right, this is awkward, dudes. Like, leave. We want to sleep. Yeah. Leave. And they go, "Well, like, yeah. Do you guys have any extra gas?" And Eric goes, "Yeah, we have enough to get back." Like, that's basically like was what Eric said.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, we can trade you. We got a ton of meat, and we got some beer we can give you." And Eric's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, you gotta watch out for our own on this one. Sorry, guys." They're like, "Oh, okay." And they like get in the boat and drive away. It was literally the oddest thing I've ever seen. 1 a.m. cruising around in a boat at Lake Powell.
Yeah, it was kind of eerie. I was, at least after my brain figured out what was going on later, but like when the boat was kind of coming up, and I was like, it felt pretty eerie. It was a little weird.
But anyway, shout out Jimmy Lynn.
Yeah.
We met the world famous Jimmy Lynn. If you guys know who that is, or if you don't know who that is, go take a look. He's actually hilarious.
Yeah, he's a big outdoorsman. Does a lot.
Very funny too. So, but yeah,
I just know Jimmy from the
hopefully
story.
He's safe. Hopefully he's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny story.
that was
weird.
That was gotta be the weirdest thing. I'm sure you guys will remind me of other weird things that have happened, but right off the tip of my hat, that's like gotta be the funniest thing.
No, I haven't really thought of any. I mean, you said you had a few that might remind me of something, but
okay, so I've at least got 3.
Whoa.
So there was this spot in the Uintas we backpacked to. We park at the trailhead, and then we probably hike about 6 more miles up to another camp that our family's always had for quite a few decades now. And so we were up there 1 year, and Roland was the one who actually found it, right?
What? I have no idea.
The
camp.
The abandoned hunting camp.
So
that was just right around the corner from the spring.
Was it Andrew or Roland and Corbin?
I think it was Roland and Corbin. Yeah, my dad and Corbin.
So we got up to our camp, and then we spent the next day fishing the river and stuff. And the one day back at camp, Roland and Corbin just come back and they're like, "Yeah, there's an abandoned camp up there." So we're like, "Whoa, okay." It's we all go check it out, and sure enough, there is just 2 huge tarps laid out. And within those tarps, just a ton of camping stuff,
there's
pads, containers, food,
canned food. There was Gatorade,
pots, pans,
all not
silverware,
used.
Trash bags, laundry bags,
I'm pretty sure I jacked the pad.
Yeah. There was a seating pad.
And we were sleeping, it was so rough. I think I remember the root or whatever I was sleeping on. I grabbed the pad just to throw it down on that one root. But
we also grabbed quite a few pots.
Oh, true. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So it turned out to be a good thing, you know,
Yeah.
But it was still just kind of weird,
because it was a lot of stuff. We're talking
it definitely had to be a horse, horse camp, and then we kind of just chalked it up to it's definitely a hunting camp, definitely a horse camp. And so the mystery to us was just obviously, who leaves that much stuff. So obviously they left in a hurry for
whatever reason.
Could have been medical, could have been weather.
Weather.
Yeah. But here, one of the other really weird things about it was the fact that there was milk. That it was recent. There was milk in the creek.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so there's a little spring there, and there was milk in there that was only out of date by a week.
And there was
the
camp hadn't been there the year before, so
and there was meat and stuff too, there was a pack of
I know there was soda,
turkey,
but it was bad.
Smart.
There was
remember there was some Mountain Dew?
Was there?
Yeah, and we opened it froze.
Oh yeah,
so wasn't that good.
Yeah, there was some.
But we had our own Mountain Dew up there, anyways. Even though
there was some turkey there that hadn't been eaten by critters yet. So it was it was really the circumstances.
From that, fall before probably.
Yeah, the circumstances were really odd.
Yeah.
That
So even if it was
that was strange.
Even if it was benign, it was it's still kind of weird.
Yeah.
Just coming across a full blown camp. Just
how many hundreds of dollars of stuff was there?
Yeah.
It was thousands.
It wasn't just obviously you go camping other places and there's garbage and stuff somewhere sometimes, but this was just full on
abandoned camp.
Yeah.
Hastily abandoned.
Was there a chair?
Yeah.
It's one of those little 3-thing chairs, and then there was a ton of stuff.
Had to been horses though. We determined for sure.
No one's carrying up all that crap. So there was that.
No way.
That was, I don't know. I consider that kind of
odd.
Strange,
weird.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Okay, another one from the Uintas. And you were there. And so this was at the base camp where you park at, and we were camped there, and we were there probably 3 days or so, and it's right on the edge of this huge meadow area,
I think I know where you're going with this one.
And we were all just kind of standing around. I think it was late afternoon, maybe. And all of a sudden, we just hear this wind. We just hear wind.
Yeah.
and we look out into the meadow, and it's like kind of out in the meadow, there's like kind of a protrusion of like kind of smaller pines. And so you can kind of hear that wind going through the pines. And then I finally made it like to the meadow, and it was just like a mini like tornado thing.
Yeah, you could see it. You could actually see
and it wasn't necessarily like windy.
No, it wasn't
that
at all,
day
actually.
or anything. It was really nice weather. Like, so it was like out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of this little funnel, and just super strong, like little funnel, micro whatever. But you could just see it go into the meadow for a few, like maybe 50 yards or so, and it was starting to pick up a bunch of dust and stuff. And then it just, as soon as it was there, then it was just gone.
Yeah, it just died randomly. Yeah,
and it was so that was, I don't know, that we all watched that, and then we all looked at each other and we're like, what the crap was that?
What the hell was that? Because it wasn't windy. It really wasn't. And then all of a sudden we just hear this wind coming, and then you see the funnel of it and everything, and then
yeah. So yeah, gone. I mean, who knows how weird or whatever, but
that was kind of weird.
So
it was
I'm
pretty
sure
big
there's
too.
Some explanation for it.
Yeah.
Downburst or
yeah, I have no idea. There's got to be some sort of weather related
phenomena.
Yeah.
Being that high in elevation,
yeah,
probably more prone to something like that, or I don't know. But I don't know. That was kind of. We definitely all kind of like looked at each other after that, and we're like, "How was it?" Everyone saw that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because it was just like so concentrated.
Yeah, just right in the middle there.
And then it was done.
What's your last one?
Okay, yeah. So this one's not as. This one's more.
It's not as strange.
I think me and Andrew were on this trip, and this is an old trip. I think we still had Betty.
Let's hear it.
So we're just kind of putting to the back of like one of our favorite canyons there, and there was this bolt pull up on the side, and we
two cowboys with no shirts.
Oh no.
No, it's not that one.
I forgot about the two.
Is this the infamous
cowboy?
Is this the infamous bathwater?
No. We didn't see anything, but I'm pretty sure me and Andrew interrupted this like a little bit older couple doing something.
Oh,
whatever.
Yes.
Wait, what? I've never even heard that.
Again, like we didn't see anything, but like I think we caught. They probably would have had enough time to like gather themselves.
Put pants on.
Listen, if you
put a pillow over his wing.
Yeah, if you've been fishing or hunting long enough, you're gonna run into somebody having sex. Right? Let's just face it. That's where teenagers go. I feel like that's where like midlife crisis people are going.
That's where Paul Bennett goes.
Yeah, Paul Bennett. They're just going the hobos down in Hobble Creek. Like,
yeah, right.
They're all banging around some shoreline, anyways. I mean, you're gonna eventually run into somebody. I mean, I guess it's a strange story, but when I was like 12-ish, I was fishing with a couple of my cousins up Mill Creek. I've told you guys this story before where my grandma...
Mill Creek Canyon here in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just in Salt Lake there. My grandma and grandpa used to drop us off, or my dad, and we would just basically fish down. And we came up... You know, it's pretty thick in some areas. To access it, you'd have to crawl through a bunch of oak brush. So we get through to this one point, and it's me, my cousin that's a little older than me, and then we have a cousin who's a little younger. He's probably like 7 or 8. And we get to this one spot, and me and my older cousin just like stop dead in our tracks. This dude is just pounding this lady like across the street from us. Like you can hear him grunting and stuff. And like we're just kind of standing there shocked. And my little cousin's like, "Oh yeah, let's fish here." Like starts just fishing and stuff. And we're like, "Dude, let's go."
Like, let's not fish here.
I can't remember how long we. You know how people describe seeing a ghost or something? Yeah. Like, God, it felt like forever. But in like 5 seconds. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, I know we were only there for like, 5 seconds, but it felt like forever listening to this dude go at it underneath a blanket. This chick, yeah. Oh, it was... Yeah, we got out of there, though.
Probably shouldn't do the noises for the podcast.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, so... Yeah, if you've been fishing and hunting enough in the...
Well, that actually...
Okay, I got another.
That reminds me of one. So you tell yours, and then I'll get to mine. But that actually reminded me of one.
So mine, I was hunting with my cousin in Colorado, and we were hunting this huge canyon.
Wait. Did we finish Preston's story though?
No, I mean that was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That you just like found an older couple doing it. Okay. In a boat, right?
At least that's what
we thought.
Yeah. That's what you highly inferred. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No,
just to make sure I'm following.
Yeah. So me and my cousin
hunting.
Yeah, Steven. Steven's been in a lot of our videos and stuff before.
Yeah, we like Steven.
Yeah, Steven's great. Too bad he doesn't live closer. He'd be great to have on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
But so we're hiking kind of down this ravine. You know, we're at the very top of this mountain, and we're hiking down to kind of get to a better vantage point. All of a sudden, we come across like all these clothes. And we're like, what the hell is this?
Like clothes on a
just clothes laid out, you know.
Are they on a line or?
Nope, just laid out like on rocks and stuff. And we're like, what the heck? So we get a little closer, and then all of a sudden this dude just pops up in his underwear. Like, he was just out there chilling, basically naked. And we're like, oh, you hunting? You know, we're trying to make conversation with this naked dude out in the forest. Like, of course, the conversation didn't go anywhere, so we just kind of backed out of there and left. But, man, yeah, people do weird stuff in the forest. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay, so this reminds me of one time. The very first time me and Preston actually went, so we fished the same spot Friday. The first time that Preston and I ever went up there, it was me, Preston, and his son Nixon. We're driving up there, and we turn the corner. So the road that you drive is pretty windy. It's kind of a narrower road. We turn the corner, and there's this car. And the car was kind of parked up.
A white Prius.
It's a white Prius, yep. It was parked on this like embankment so that it was like kind of tilted up. So you could see really well into the car.
So they had some momentum going down. Is that right? Or did you pull up on somebody?
We this man was fully naked, and as we turned around, fully naked in his car.
Oh, it's just one dude?
Yeah, one guy by himself. The thing was reclined, and he like hurried and grabbed something and like covered his junk like as we turned the corner. And we like just kept driving, and it was one of those things where me and Preston didn't say anything to each other for like probably 2 or 3 minutes, and then finally we were like, wait, was that guy naked? Like, both of us are like, wait, what? Did you see what I saw? Like, it took us that long to kind of process. And I think Nixon, like, picked up on it, too. And Nixon was really young at that point, right? Yeah. And he was just kind of like, Dad, what was that guy? Like, what was he doing?
Well, I mean, we finally talked about it, you know? That guy was naked. So Nixon was like, why was that guy naked? Yeah. Was he swimming? So, like, he's... Nixon has a great memory, so every time we like drive by that spot, that's where we saw that guy naked, huh, Dad? Yep,
that was where.
Yeah, people in the forest, man, they do weird stuff.
Yeah. So then there was the other one. It was me and Andrew. We were up hunting in the Uintas, same spot as this weird microburst thing, and we came back and we were camping at our little campsite, and I mean it was pitch black, and we just got done eating, and we were there for a couple more hours, and we just see this guy stumbling, just not passed out obviously, but just
he's drunk off his
just
ass.
blackout.
He was drunk.
Blackout drunk,
totally stumbling over, swearing up a storm. Oh man, mother effer, I had a flashlight somewhere. Finally like gets over to us. And we like, at least we knew what to expect at that point, you know. And there was a guy, he got to be in his 50s or something,
right,
maybe
late
even
50s,
older.
early 60s. Yeah.
He was from Kansas. He was out there elk hunting. And he was just, so we were just, oh, hey, how are you doing? Where have you been hunting? And he was just like, and then he started telling the story about, he was like mad at his horse for doing something on the trail. But it was funny. It's always interesting to run into those type of people. Kind of scary too. I mean, you just never.
Yeah, you never know what people.
You never really know, like what someone's gonna do out there.
Going back to missing 411, you always need to be safe. You always need a plan for these kind of things.
Well, we did have 2 rifles by us, so I don't think we were too worried.
No.
But yeah, it is drunk people stumbling into camp.
That one. That was a funny one. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as my strange stories besides those ones I've told, what's funny is I feel like we've spent a lot of time in the outdoors, And none of us have like a actual Bigfoot story or UFO story.
Well, Eric has a UFO story.
He does, yeah. Yeah, Preston's dad does. But yeah, we don't. I don't know. I guess
we need to save that story for another time. Where, I don't even know if your dad really wants to tell that story. It seems like I've kind of hinted at like maybe him telling that story in a YouTube video or something, and he's always kind of shied away from it. So we'll leave that story for him to tell when and if he wants to tell it. But
there was
Preston's woken me up before in the middle of the night, like when we're out camping.
Yeah,
like thinking there was something going down, but it's just Preston dreaming. Yeah, he like shakes me and like, hey, you seen that? You see that? And then I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, no. Yeah, it's like, no, there's nothing. I was sleeping. That happens. Yeah.
Sometimes my dreams can get kind of intense. I guess I've definitely woken up Andrew a few different times, and usually
there's nothing there.
I think something's going on, but in reality, it's like nothing.
Well, I used to have those dreams too, camping. Remember that time like I caught a fish in the tent?
You full on caught a fish when we were kids in the tent.
At 1 a.m.
1 a.m, like landed it with the net and everything. I remember that. That was in Farley.
Yeah, that was in Farley, back when there was a lake by Farley.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we don't have any of those really good those Bigfoot noises or knocks or aliens coming down, UFOs shooting across the sky. We've seen stuff in the sky, we've thought, but
nothing abnormal.
Crazy.
I mean,
it's just like, oh, hey, like
one of the coolest things I saw was actually this year. It was at Strawberry, a couple days before we went and made that video. It was with my friend Zach and then my other friend Trevor, and we actually saw the SpaceX satellite array as it lines up in the sky, and you guys can Google that, or maybe we can put a picture in the podcast. But we actually saw that, and that was actually like one of the weirdest, coolest things in the sky I've ever seen. It was I don't know if I explain it. It's like this satellite array that kind of comes in, and it looks like a train going across the sky, and it's like a perfectly straight line where the lights like turn on in sequence. And it was really cool. So yeah, Trevor and Zach and I saw that, and it was up at Strawberry. Like I said, just a couple days. I think it was the night before we went, to be honest, because I think Trevor, Zach, and I went Friday night, and then we went with Ben and you guys on Saturday night. So
yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, there's never been. I remember one time me and Peter hiked in this same area in the Uinta as we've been talking about. It was only me and him. Everybody else had already made it, and it was in between the last crossings, and I was ahead of you, and it was getting pretty dark. I don't even know if I told you or stopped you or anything, but there was a tree. It ended up being just a tree, but it was like standing right in the middle of the trail, and I had to like
really stop and
I had to like stop myself a couple times, like, oh, like I started really like, oh my gosh, like what is that? That is, it's just a tree.
And then it ended up being a tree.
It's just weird. Yeah.
I remember one time, same meadow just up from where we camp, where I saw something like, I was probably this was before our mission, so it had to have been 17 or 18. We saw that thing standing next to the tree, and I was like, oh man, that's like Bigfoot. But then it ended up, we decided to end up maybe being a bear. We're not even sure what it was. Do you remember what I'm talking about? And I kept trying to point it out to you, and you didn't quite see it.
Like I knew the area you were talking about.
Like I was trying to point it out to Preston. I just don't think Preston ever saw it. But I think we determined it was a bear. And the reason we determined it was a bear is when we got home, my dad did some research, and I guess there was a bear sighting just the week before, like in the same area. But it was like a bear standing up on his haunches, up onto a tree.
Oh yeah.
And that was just in that meadow, the big meadow that we usually fish. So yeah. We've seen some. You spend enough time in the outdoors, you end up seeing weird stuff.
Yeah, and it usually involves other people.
Yeah. Definitely more afraid of other people than
people do weird things. And animals don't.
Right. Animals are far more predictable.
Oh yeah.
Than people.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are the ones just kind of on the top of my head.
I'd be interested though. Like, comment below or like send us an email. Like,
what are some of your strange stories?
Because again, like us, if you've spent any amount of time in the outdoors, like you're gonna run across some weird stuff. So yeah, go ahead and send us your stuff. I'd be interested to hear it for sure. I mean, we could make a podcast just on this kind of stuff, you know.
Yes.
We'd have to play the coast to coast.
Yeah.
We listened to a great coast to coast. Yeah. We'll put that link in the description.
Yeah. The bugs.
Yeah, that one's good.
So there was a guy from Texas, and him and
three of his buddies.
They were old Vietnam veterans, and this was in the early 70s.
Yep.
And he told a good story about him. They ended up shooting
and killing
2 Bigfoot.
Yeah.
A male and a female.
In Texas.
As crazy as that sounds, you got to listen to the story because it sounds like a legit story.
It's pretty compelling.
It's a good story. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorites at least.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe because it's better than that guy's ghost story after.
Yeah, I didn't even finish that one. I was like,
I mean, it was fine.
I feel like I'm going to hear the same thing over and over and over again. But
see, the thing is, I feel like I've heard that story from
multiple people.
Okay. So right when I got home from my mission, it wasn't right. It was about a year after I got home from my mission. I dated this girl who's infamously known in my family as Jenna number 2. Because the girl I dated right before my mission was named Jenna also. And what's funny is they look the exact same. They were both about, 5'6" and blonde, blue eyes. It was like the same girl, basically. So Jenna number 2 constantly was having things like ghosts and stuff, wake her up in the middle of the night and having like sleep paralysis and all that kind of jazz. And so I feel like that story that he was telling is just like one that so many people have. It's that classic dreaming but very lucidly and nothing really
find
to
them interesting and stuff, but
yeah,
to me there's that's not as unfamiliar as like a Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, give me a good Bigfoot story, or give me a good alien crash / probing somebody's ass. Give me something.
You're really into that ass probing, aren't you?
Yeah. Just give me something like that. I guess I'm just not as big on ghosts as I used to be, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Something about
I like the stories of.
The thing is the ghost thing. There's less mystery to me because I actually do believe it. And that goes way more into my religious beliefs and stuff like that. But yeah, the ghost thing not as compelling as the alien or the Bigfoot or any of that. So weird stuff.
We'll have to see if we can figure out any more weird stories, because I think we have a few more.
We do. We probably
just not remembering them right now.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I just kind of instantly think about.
That just immediately stand out.
At least you could categorize as weird. We definitely have a lot more stories.
Yeah, there's
just whatever, but
feels like bathwater.
Yeah. So if you guys have any weird stories, or again, if you guys have any pictures or
any questions,
comments, concerns, questions about fishing, questions about whatever, questions for one of us or all of us or whatever, or any suggestions, let us know. Again, we'll put our email in the bottom. It's just DungeeFishing@gmail.com. So make sure you guys, all 10 of you who watch.
There's more than 10 that watch. Well, that's what's been really cool about all this is I'm so surprised by how many people watch and listen to our podcast. It stokes me out, actually. It's
good feedback, good
way better than I thought it would be.
But it's been fun, so thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Sounds good.